All right, I'm talking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Triple P Show. I am your host tonight, Pat's Path Predictor, along with hold on, let me undeafen myself, along with my host Ethan WX, right here. Ethan, how are we doing?
We're doing pretty good. How about you?
We're doing great. We're doing great. Yeah, we also have our guest here for tonight, David Schlotthauer. David, welcome to the stream.
What's up, Pat? What's up, Ethan WX? How's everybody doing?
We're doing wonderful. We're doing wonderful. My birthday's coming up tomorrow. We're having a nice little birthday stream with this. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty wild. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and yeah, we're doing this. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I muted you guys. I'm sorry. I'm dumb. All right, go. All right, sorry. The desktop on OBS was. I accidentally muted that. Can you guys say hi to the audience again? I'm sorry.
Hello.
All right, sorry guys. Sorry everybody. I set this up a couple of minutes ago, so we're still working out the kinks to it. But anyway, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're on right now. We're having a good stream. Yeah, it's so basically we have Ethan on, we have David on tonight. So yeah, at least for a little bit we're going to be talking about a few weather topics. We're going to be David's doing some stuff right now. We're going to wait for he's going to be off and on. Once he takes care of that, we will be he'll be on more frequently on the show tonight. So yeah, so basically we got a few topics for to talk about tonight. Let's go ahead and turn my camera on real quickly. So first topic we have is that we have going on. We have some things going on in the Eastern Pacific and the Atlantic that we're going to be talking about. But before we get into that we're going to talk about the Texas flooding that is going on, because I've talked to Ethan, I've talked to several people. In fact, a lot of people on this Triple P show GC have been blowing me up about what's going on over there. And Ethan, I know you wanted to talk about that especially. What is you want to go ahead and start off and kind of give a general summary of what's going on?
Yeah, so basically we've installed the system that's stalled out over central Texas, the hill country, kind of west of San Antonio in that general region. So several days of very heavy rainfall. I believe the other day there was actually a tornado in downtown
Oh
San
wow.
Antonio. There was some footage of it on Twitter if you can find that and pull it up.
Yeah,
Um,
let's see. Yeah, did they send it?
so overnight, last night, and through this morning, basically a massive MCS developed with extremely heavy rainfall, and a very, very widespread area has seen over 20 inches of rain over the last 72 hours.
Yeah.
Um, in fact, in some places that is approaching 30 inches now, down near Uvalde and other parts of Texas. And then Kerrville, which is an area that saw catastrophic flooding last year during the 4th of July floods.
Yeah.
That area has actually broken their record that was set last year for the flooding on the Guadalupe River.
That is
So,
unbelievable.
catastrophic flooding event going on there.
Yeah, we
Fortunately, much more warning for people there. There was a lot more lead time, so this wasn't really a surprise, but it's definitely a pretty devastating flooding event going on down there.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I actually have the river gauge up for the Guadalupe River at Comfort, Texas. Look at this from where this was at around 4:50 this morning. We went from about 5 feet in terms of the gauge, and it surged all the way up to 35 feet in the span of about 3 hours or so, which is absolutely insane. That's the definition of flash flood right there. It went from not a flood stage to extreme in just a short amount of time, right there, which is kind of it's just been very bad for sure. And it's definitely dropped off back down to the moderate to light stage of flooding. But holy hell, this was quite the jump.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we got some other stuff going on too.
Hmm.
Um, so Northeast Mid Atlantic U.S. at least, there's a pretty severe heat wave. I can say here in Maryland, it was 98 degrees yesterday, 97 today,
Yeah.
and a lot of the eastern U.S. and also parts of the Midwest are dealing with smoke from the wildfires in Canada.
Yep.
I could say that it's starting to get pretty bad here. It smells bad, very hazy fog, almost looks like smog as I'm driving around right now.
Awesome.
So very nasty conditions on the East Coast, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly very active weather going on this week. So
All right. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I have that pulled up right here. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find. Is there a way? I wonder if there's an image of the smoke that I can find if we have it on our group
pull
chat.
up the air quality index, and that'll tell you where the smoke
All
is.
right, I'll pull up air quality index because
I believe
we're kind of introing it right now. Let's see, this is the zip code right here. Let's see, air quality flag program. Let's look. Let's look at Pennsylvania.
yeah, it's like a band that extends from like
Yeah,
Pennsylvania
yeah. Here
across
he
the
is.
Midwest to like Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a way I could find a video of the satellite imagery or something. I know satellite was down for much of the day until we got it
It
back a
should be
few.
back up now.
Yeah, it's back up now, but yep. But yeah. All right. Yeah, Logan's was on the ground. We'll go ahead and let me go ahead and show this because he actually has an on-ground view of this. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this up right here. But yeah, this is what he's seeing on his end, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that sun right here, folks. It's orange color, and that's the wildfire smoke right here. Just look at this, folks. This is unbelievable. Let me see if it's showing up on the stream. Yeah, it is. But yeah, that's what we have going on. Yeah, thank you very much, Logan. I do appreciate that. All right,
We also
so
had some pretty crazy images coming in from New England yesterday when the smoke was up, kind of concentrated over Massachusetts and Connecticut.
Mhm.
So, yeah, Boston area, there were some pretty crazy photos on Twitter on and on Reddit, the sky basically turning yellow and orange
Yep.
from all the smoke. All the smoke. So unfortunately, we're going to be seeing a lot of that across the Midwest tomorrow, all the way through the Mid Atlantic, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, that general region. So yeah, if you do have asthma or any breathing related issues, definitely not a good time to be outside tomorrow.
Yeah, I know Katie Nicolau posted on Instagram. Basically, she's wearing an N95 mask because she's up in Lansing, Michigan. The smoke up there is pretty bad. So I saw that earlier today, going on with that. So that was pretty crazy. So all right, but yeah, yeah, a little bit of everything is going on today. It seems like. So yeah, because we have the Texas flooding. We have also flood warnings in Arizona, New Mexico as well. We have
Yeah, the
wildfire
monsoon
smoke.
is starting to really kick in the desert Southwest.
Yeah, we
In fact, it actually looks like it's going to be generally during El Nino years, the monsoon in the Southwest tends to be stronger, and you tend to get more flooding
yeah,
than usual. So that's also something we're going to have to keep an eye on as
absolutely.
well.
But yeah, but yeah, the what we got going on, here, folks, though, is you got some more flood warnings. You got a lot of convection, especially in eastern Arizona and southwestern New Mexico. You have a lot of flood warnings. I was looking at that before I got that. Remember, turn around, don't drown, all that fun stuff right there. But yeah, we have that all happening. But then shifting over to towards kind of the main meat of the stream for tonight, and we'll definitely get an input on that when whenever David is done, whenever he's ready to join us. So basically, to join us, but basically, here's the situation. I'm sure this is why a lot of people are on the stream tonight. We have a couple of areas of interest right now in the Atlantic. We have three areas of interest in the East Pacific. We have Tropical Storm Elida, which is a 65-mile-per-hour storm. Tropics have been very active, and it doesn't help that satellite imagery was knocked out yesterday. Thankfully, it's back up, although although the performance of it is kind of down to varying degrees. So it's still yet to be fully operational, but it's operational enough for us to show you tonight. So basically, that's the main meat for what we got going on tonight. We have a lot of tropics to talk about. We're probably gonna talk about the Texas flooding some more once the rest of the crew joins us in about 45 minutes now. But here's what we got for you guys, and for those of you who watched the video earlier, you kind of understand where I'm going with this. So this is what we got. We have a 20% chance of development area of interest off the coast of through Florida in the Gulf Coast and going all the way to the East Coast towards the Carolinas, and we have a 10% risk in the main development region. I know it was the first time we've seen one of those this year. But yes, we will definitely talk about the Gulf one. We'll go ahead and talk about this one first. So here's our latest that we got for right here. So here's the situation. An area of low pressure is forecast to form this weekend over the northeastern Gulf. Some gradual development of this system is possible while it moves slowly northeastward over the northeastern Gulf and near the coast of the southeastern United States early next week. 20% chance of formation in the next 7 days. Let's go ahead and pull up satellite. We're going to go ahead and zoom into that area. And Ethan, if you want to go ahead and chime in on this, go ahead. If you have anything if you'd like to say about this.
I mean, I will definitely say that the East Pacific, in particular, is definitely concerning.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what the forecast maximum intensity for Elida is right now.
Let me see.
But I could definitely see that
85.
becoming, a major. I could definitely see it becoming a major hurricane.
All right.
Just because the SSTs are very warm and conditions out there are rather favorable. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it that deeply, but it is, keep in mind, this is mid-July. You have one active tropical cyclone in multiple areas of interest in the East Pacific. And the East Pacific, Pat, you made a video on this, that there could be a hurricane season for the ages.
Yes, I did.
In that base with the El Nino.
Yes.
So absolutely, if you are in Mexico on the Pacific coast, Baja California, also Hawaii too. Any of those regions, definitely be paying attention to the East Pacific this year because there's a much higher risk than usual of a major hurricane landfall anywhere in those regions.
All right, Ethan. Thank you very. All right, Ethan. Thank you very, very much. That is greatly appreciated. But yeah, we have a big tropical storm in the EPAC right now. Tropical storm Elida, 65 miles per hour, as of the latest advisory from the NHC. Let's see if we can pull it up right here. Yeah, it's at 55 on tropical tidbits as well. So let's go. So that's something to watch. We have 3 other AOIs over there to watch as well. We're going to talk more about that a little bit later. But let's go ahead and shift over to what's going on very, very briefly to the northwestern Atlantic because of our area of interest. Yes, I'm aware that the satellite imagery stopped working yesterday. Thank you for reminding me of that, Tropical Tidbits. I'm going to go ahead and move this to 30 frames just for right now because I like 60 to give us a longer form coverage, but 30 will probably be more appropriate here. So here's the situation, and here's what's going to happen for you guys. What's going to happen is you're going to have this area of interest essentially develop off of a decaying cold front. You're going to have a low pressure system on the western side of that cold front that's going to enter into parts of the Gulf region over here, and then because the steering currents, because there's a high pressure system in parts of the Midwest and to the west of the system, it's going to swing back through Florida and potentially impact the coasts of the Carolinas, according to what we've seen with the forecast from the NHC. So that's the main gist of it. I've looked at the ensembles. I've looked at some of the old guards, especially the Euro and GFS ensembles. We're going to look at some of the AI runs as well tonight, since I didn't cover those too much in today's video. But that's what we got going on for right now. So let's go ahead and pull this up. Here is our weather nerds, our ensemble runs. We're going to zoom in right here in this region. Okay, never mind. Let's go ahead and let me go ahead and get a better angle of this, and we'll just shift it like that. Oh, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. So this is what we got. So this is what we got. We'll start with the European. We'll go to the Euro AI, and then we'll go to the GFS. So here's what we have for you, ladies and gentlemen. And and hopefully whenever David is ready, he can chime in whenever he gets to his destination. But this is what we got for you guys tonight. So you have not too much going on the next 48 hours. Then as time goes on, you're going to 72 hours. This is July 19th. This is where we're at. We start seeing a little bit, our first ensemble popping up off the Big Bend region in Florida. It remains pretty weak. If you looked at it by itself, you go, that's really not much to talk about. But let's go ahead and take a quick gander. Yeah, you're not seeing too much going on with that, but then you're starting to see another one starting to pop up, and okay, the 12Z Euros ensembles definitely have decreased since what we've seen okay, that's the 6. Is that the 6Z? Oh, this is the 12Z. Sorry. This is what I need to be looking at. As you can see, the stream's been a bit chaotic so far. I do apologize for that. Yeah, thank you for letting me know that. Thank you for letting me know. 12Z is... Man. I know Ethan's in his vehicle right now. Hopefully, whenever he gets to his destination, he can take a look at this. But, man, oh, man. What was the 0Z like, just out of curiosity? The 12Z significantly uptrended compared to the 0Z. That is interesting. Now, 12Z definitely is going big with the power as well. 983, 977, 987 as well. I don't know how realistic that is. I'm going to be honest. Looking at this 963, 964.
Yeah, I'm going to add that.
Yeah.
Gulf is dealing with some Saharan air layer at the moment, so it's very dry. But the SSTs have really warmed up lately. So if the dry air and the shear aren't as much of a problem, anything that does get started will be able to take full advantage of that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the moisture component right now. Where this system is expected to emerge, there's actually convection that's carrying into that region of the Gulf right there right now. If that continues to persist and that keeps pumping into the Gulf, that's going to mix a lot of that dry air and potentially mix some of that Sahara air layer out over there. But looking at the water temperatures, you were bringing this up, Ethan. Yeah, they are close to cracking 32 degrees Celsius right now. Matter of fact, let me check cyclonic WX and let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and look at SST. Let's look at the Western Atlantic just to kind of give you a better view of this. This is what we got for you folks. You're looking at your water temperatures that are this is 30 degrees 29 30 degrees, 31 to 32 degrees Celsius in a couple of isolated spots right here, guys. Um, yeah, this is very warm water. This is anywhere from 86 to potentially up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit in some isolated areas. That is more than that is more than um yeah, that is more than enough for tropical development if all the conditions are used properly. For example, if we take into account OHC, dry air, and wind shear, that is definitely an interesting situation that we are paying attention to. Just looking at this alone, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Let's see what I want to take a look at the climate reanalyzer. What were we looking at? That's the Gulf of Maine. Here's the Gulf region right here. Okay, so the Gulf has cooled down a little bit over the last week or so, mainly due to that mesoscale convection that was populating it, but it is starting to heat up. Look at this in the span of Ethan, the span of one day, we went from across the entire Gulf region, 29.7 to 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. Literally a jump of a half a degree Fahrenheit across the entire Gulf. That's what we're looking
Yeah,
at.
and I think it's also worth mentioning that parts of the East Coast, just because of the heat waves and also the MDR, have started to warm up as well.
Yeah.
So we're kind of, even though we're in a very strong El Nino pattern, the North Atlantic is, warmer than average in most of the prime development areas. So
Yes.
um, obviously there will be, limiting factors to tropical cyclones getting started, but this could certainly be kind of a quality over quantity year where we don't see a lot of storms, but assuming things come together, well, we could see, fairly strong storm or two.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure, for sure. So that's what we're looking at with our water temperatures. What's our ocean heat content looking like over there at this current point? Let's take a look at the OHC. Man, OHC, I want to do something real quickly. I want to do a compare and contrast real quickly. I'm going to control C, I'm going to copy this and do that. I want to look at the difference from what we saw last week with the ocean heat content. Let's F5. Okay, let's F5. Let's refresh this. Is there a way I can look at the Is there a way I can look at this? Okay, where's the heck is the I used to Did they update their page? Okay, never mind. Well, cool. This is what the ocean heat content is today. Um You're looking at 50 to 75 OHC to start with in this part of the Gulf, outside of this shallow area, which is the continental shelf. Gulf Stream, you're looking at 50 to 75 isolated, up to 100 in a couple of areas. So it's definitely a situation that you're going to want to watch if it moves further to the east. If the 12Z is what's going on and this is shifting further to the west, then this is an interesting situation to say the very least. Someone in chat was talking about the 18Z. What was the 18Z doing? Okay, yeah, the 18Z wasn't showing too much with it either. So, okay, so so the 0 and the 12Z are definitely on the aggressive side, while the 6 and the 18Z absolutely aren't. So that is interesting. I do not like that inconsistency at all. Ethan, what's your Ethan? Do you think this is more so the 60 and the 18C don't have the enough data, or do you think they're onto something?
well, one thing that has been an issue lately
Mhm.
is a lot of the NWS offices in the US are not doing balloon launches on their scheduled times as they have in the past.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's several reasons for that, one of them being funding and political. But we're not
Yeah.
going to dive too deep into that.
Sure.
Just know that there is a lack of basically upper air data being implemented into the models, which they rely on a lot.
Weatherman Plus
So
is in the chat right now, by the way. Shout out Weatherman Plus for coming on the show. Well, at least he's watching. He's watching it right now. But yeah,
Yo,
thank you
yo,
very much.
what's up, Weatherman Plus?
David's back. David's here. Yo.
Hey, what's up, Weatherman Plus?
Yeah.
I have to say, Weatherman Plus, I love your terminology when you do your
Dude.
I'm actually at church right now, Weatherman Plus, and the door's locked.
Dude,
So
we're
I
having a
love
party tonight.
yes. So Weatherman Plus, I love your terminology. How you say all this favorable energy, all this favorable environment, moving through the Pacific, moving into the Eastern Pacific, and I'm still showing true in the latest model guidance that this favorable environment could be making its way into the Caribbean, and that could trigger more tropical storms or hurricanes. I just love your terminology.
There we go.
That's why I like watching you.
Well, what a way to get David back on the to have David back on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, we're having a party. We're having a party tonight. I will say because we have David on the show right now calling in. Weatherman Plus is in the chat. I'm streaming. I'm streaming this crossover right now, and we're also talking about weather at the same time. Oh man. Dude, Weatherman Plus. If you want Weatherman Plus, if you have Discord and if you'd like to come on the show,
Oh,
you're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to at any time as a guest. We'd like to get your opinion. We have David on the show right now. Ethan's with me as well. This is a show for the
which, by
community.
the way,
Yep,
which is Weatherman Plus still in the chat?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. If he is still in the chat, just for reference, Weatherman Plus. So,
Oh, dude.
I mean, we have our own ways of interpreting velocity
Yes.
potential anomaly,
Yeah.
but actually, we're the most like the greenest, depending on what map you use, green or teal blue. The the centroid of the where the center of the rising motion is actually, quite frankly, you'd be surprised, is actually not the most favorable environment because
Mm-hmm.
it takes a little bit of time for the atmosphere in the passing of that velocity potential anomaly for things to become favorable. Because if you think about the upper levels, winds flow from the east away from that velocity potential anomaly. I wish, actually, you know what, Pat?
Mhm.
If you want, let me bring my iPad, or open my iPad here, and
Yeah, that's
you
fine.
could share.
Yep,
So
that's
then you,
yeah.
okay, so, this is going to be kind of a little like weather lesson,
Yeah,
a little bit
we're gonna do
lesson.
that. We're gonna go ahead and do that real quickly. I mean, David is our guest tonight. We are we are also covering tropics and all that stuff, but he is our guest tonight. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of bring him on. We're gonna let him talk to you guys, and yeah, we're just gonna see how this goes.
All right, let's see if you could see my screen.
Let me do that. Allow me to switch this up. There we go. There you go, David. You're perfect. You're good. Let me move my
Okay.
camera over.
All right, so let's actually go to weather models, because that's what I like to use.
Yeah.
Let me log in really quick. Hold on. Let me. Can you? Shoot. Can you? Let me stop sharing really quick. Hold on.
That's while you're logging in, I'll talk more about what's going on in the Atlantic. Well, just to give you some time. But all right, so this is what we got.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, okay. Perfect.
I had to just sign in.
All right, David, we're ready when you are.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
There you
So,
go.
can you see my screen? Okay, perfect.
Yes, we can.
All
Let
right.
me
So,
move
what we're
this
going to
over.
do is we're going to go to the velocity potential anomaly. Let's go to here.
Let me see if
Oh my gosh. Okay. So if Weatherman Plus, let me actually open chat up on my end.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see if he's
Everyone has a different way of interpreting the VPA, but to clear up any confusion.
Sure.
Oops. Okay, so here it is. Okay, we're all right. What's up, Weatherman Plus, by the way? So
all right, we're ready.
Yeah, so I'm screen capture, or I'm basically cropping this out so can explain. So right here,
All right.
because yes, this is semi-favorable right in here, but it's right in here where this transition zone is where you get the most favorable conditions. And the reason you're probably like, but David, I thought the orange and red is sinking. It is, but we have to understand that when there's a lot of rising motion in one part of the atmosphere, in one part of the world like this, the air, once it hits the troposphere, which is around 200 millibars, the air wants to flow out of the east. So you get easterly winds aloft, easterly wind anomalies. All right. And then where there's a lot of orange in the centroid of all of that red and orange is where you get sinking motion. Okay. So you get sinking here, sinking here. And then vice versa. So actually, conditions are most favorable after the passing of this right here, this anomaly, right all in here. Okay, because this is the centroid where we have like tropical waves, thunderstorms that are developing, but then the background wind environment has to be suitable for that. So what I mean by that is if we actually go over to, okay, so now that we understand that, let's take a look here at, let's go to Hofmoller. This is my favorite map. Did it realign? Is it good, Pat, or is it sideways on your end?
It looks like it's upright to me. Yeah, it looks
So
upright to me.
It's perfect. Okay, I just want to make sure because I just tilted my iPad. All right, so when we look at our wind anomalies here, these are this is giving us an idea. Are the trade winds weaker? Is there westerly wind burst activity? And so right in here, we have, let's go to here. We have westerly wind anomalies all in here. This is the current time frame. Okay, I wish this drawing tool was actually a lot easier to use. And then you get easterly winds, okay, right where all these blue areas are. So got enhanced trades in the blue. We got weaker trades in the orange and red. And so the background is actually quite conducive for the Pacific under this kind of configuration right here. Because if we go to tropical tidbits now, let's see if we can find, okay, tropical tidbits. Okay, let's go to here. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's actually go to East Pacific. So right in here, if we go to our low level wind forecast, the forecast of that, you could actually know what Central Pacific is probably a little bit better. So anytime you have stronger trade winds, in this case, actually, let me find, okay, right here. This is actually a little bit better. And let's use vorticity. And then, oops,
Oh,
uh-oh.
uh-oh.
Can you reshare?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
It blooped out. I do not know what happened there.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, go
sorry.
ahead and take care of that. Whenever you're ready, that's fine.
Yep, I'm ready right now.
Brilliant.
That was weird. The
Okay,
life of an
cool.
iPad, I'll tell you. Okay, without causing. Okay, there we go. So, right in here, we have westerly winds here. Okay, so we
Yeah.
kind of have westerly wind anomalies right in here, but you got your trade winds back in here. This is what we call background trade wind flow to the north. Right along that intertropical convergence zone, we get good vorticity stretching in the or in the lower parts of the atmosphere. So kind of like right in here, we got a good amount of that going on. And then let's see, right in here, we have another bit of it going on. A little bit of an anticyclonic high here.
Yeah.
And so the northeastern lobes of this will spin and tend to go this way as this tries to do a breakdown event and another breakdown event, and another lobe does kind of like that. So that's what we're dealing with here right now. And so that's why westerly wind anomalies really help to augment better vorticity in the atmosphere to get spin going and then to get tropical formation. So in my honest opinion, now again,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what YouTuber you watch, people have their own ways of interpolating things.
Right.
But as a forecaster, I can't say I'm a certified meteorologist because I have no degree, but I have studied a lot of this over the
Yeah.
years. I kind of know what I'm looking for. And so there are things you look for before things develop. So,
Yeah.
in other words, another analogy to think about is before you actually get heat stroke, you show symptoms before actual heat stroke happen, right?
Yeah.
So, what I'm kind of trying to say here is there symptoms, there are signals and signs before things actually go hurrah
Okay.
and go hurrahly crazy.
All right.
And so in this case, yes, this tropical wave here looks good on a model perspective and a satellite perspective, but you have to look at the overall state, the
Right.
background state of the atmosphere, the time of the year. It's July, it's mid July. And this time of the year, for one, we know based on past analogs and historical data, this is not really optimal, or if it's a bit too early in the Atlantic to get Cape Verde activity. Yeah, we can occasionally get a pop through, but with the background state of El Nino that's really influencing the atmosphere, I just don't. It's just very anemic. The pattern
Right.
is just very anemic for the Atlantic. Yes, it's kind of there for tropical waves, but it's not so there for tropical genesis.
Yeah.
And it's because of our MJO.
For sure.
And I
Hey,
did explain this on my.
yeah,
Yeah, go
is it
ahead.
okay if I say something real quickly? We have a $10
Absolutely.
super chat from Meisel Chris 1. Thank you very much for the dono. Ethan just left for a second. Hopefully he comes back on in a little bit. But David, I just wanted to say that real quickly because that was going on in the chat. Please continue. I apologize for interrupting.
That's fine. Yeah, thank you, Ms. Chris, one for the $9.99 donation, about $10. I appreciate that.
Yep.
For supporting Pat.
Yep.
For
All
Pat's
support to the
Pad
channel is
Predictor.
very much appreciated. Also, be sure to like and subscribe.
Yes. So let's take a look here at the MJO. So, of course, another way we could extrapolate this is looking at the MJO phase.
Right.
So, again, from a meteorological perspective, this is not ideal for the Atlantic. Where you want the MJO phase to actually be is when we look at the diagram here. So
Mm-hmm.
this is where we're at right. Let me make that a little bit better. Okay, so let me highlight this in red. So this is where we're at in the MJO right now, where it says
Yeah.
start. This is where, oh wait, no, hold on. Am I looking at this? Oh my gosh, this is these. Okay, that is correct. Okay, man, this is kind of strange. So right here, and we're going to be headed into this null phase. Now, there's a very weak MJO signal in the Atlantic at the end of July,
Yeah.
but it is very anemic due to destructive interference with the El Nino base state, which, by the way, when we do take a look, I can't wait for the MEI to come out in August. I'm sure the MEI is going to be a lot more significant than it
Yeah.
is right now. So what we're seeing, but the background state of the atmosphere is very El Nino like. And actually, let me see if this did update. Oh gosh, yeah, this is crashing. Oh my goodness, yeah, we are at negative. We were at negative 40 yesterday. Now we're at negative
Oh,
36.5.
geez.
So man, the SOI is just crashing downward very quickly still. So that gives us an idea that the atmospheric base state is very, very, very El Nino coupling right now. And so what I've noticed in recent MJO, oops, hold on, someone's trying to, oh, okay.
You're good.
I think we need to, okay, I think, hold on, Alex, I think Adam wants us to keep that locked so the people on yeah, they don't want to, yeah, Adam doesn't want them using the bathroom
All right.
over here. Yeah. Sorry about that, Pat. So,
You're good. Keep
so
going.
what I've noticed with this MJO evolution is that it's been doing a lot of this. It's been kind of doing a lot of that. It's just been kind of over here in phases 6, 7, and 8. And that is usually a very classic hallmark of an El Nino constructive
Mm-hmm.
feedback loop in the atmosphere. Typically during a La Nina, the atmosphere favors more of the Western Pacific and Indonesia. So you'll see more of an MJO that looks more so kind of like this. It kind of goes out and kind of comes in, might go into the Western Pacific, but then it really favors much of phases 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hence is why we get very busy hurricane seasons
Yeah.
if things line up really well with a La Nina. In this case, we are not seeing that. The atmosphere is not favorable for the Atlantic with very big El Ninos like this. And I showed this on my stream. I'll show this on Pat's stream.
Sure.
This is a significant. I mean, I'm not a meteorologist, but I've been in the weather department for many years, for over 15, 20 years, and I have not seen an El Nino that could be as strong as this one that we're seeing, especially that it's July 16th.
Yeah.
El Nino, folks, as you all know, El Nino does not peak until about November into December. Hence is why it's called the Christ boy. That's what El Nino stands for in Spanish, Christ child, or the boy. It did many ways to interpret it.
Sure.
And the reason why it's called the Christ boy is because, well, it peaks around Christmas time. Christ or Christ miss, right? So
Yeah.
you can kind of get an idea here. So therefore, this El Nino is very much coupling with the atmosphere. It really is. I'm seeing it in the SOI. I am seeing it in the RMM guidance, just the overall pattern. And thirdly, I'm seeing it in the OLR anomaly as well. The outgoing, outgoing long wave radiation signals, where it has been really wet on average in the Central Pacific in recent weeks,
Yeah.
all because of the standing wave. And the question is, will that change? What's going to change that around? Well, the MJO seems to be hugging more of the Western and Central Pacific. That's because El Nino constructively, not destructively, right? We're talking constructive, like a
Right.
reinforcement. El Nino changes the atmosphere. The atmosphere reinforces El Nino, and El Nino is able to grow stronger. Then that is able to change the atmosphere even further. So it's kind of a feedback loop. So while the MJO is going to be weakening by the latter part of July into early August, that does not mean that this El Nino is falling apart and it's time for La Nina to come back. Because as you know, this evolution is going to be continuing. So we could already see a
Sure.
pattern by the 30th. The MJO is going to be moving into the unit of circle by the 30th. And then I would probably place a lot of bets And hold me to it, Pat. We'll
right.
be reconvening with another Pat show on this, probably in another. Well, you'll be doing these weekly, I'm sure,
Yeah, I
but
am.
like in a month, we'll be looking back at this on one of the shows and be like, "Wow, David was right." I would probably bet you. I'd probably bet you the MJO is going to do this again, or might actually just go. Let's see. Let's probably make a prediction. We'll probably go over here and just do this loop again, where it really does favor the Western Pacific and even to phase 7 and 8, which, by
Right.
the way, phase 8 is in the Central Pacific where that El Nino is. And so the evolution over the last few MJO evolution cycles has been really, really repeatable. And I can probably get an idea that's exactly what's going to happen. And how we can tell by that is by looking at extended forecasts. You can see, what did I just say, Pat? I just said that the MJO will probably be skipping phases 1, 2, 3, and 4, and even 5, and move right back into phase 6 towards the middle of August. And right on the fly, what do we see?
Yeah, we do. Yep.
It's doing that same evolution. So
Yeah.
right now, really quickly, I know I'm just doing too much. I want Pat to have the floor here in a second, but so
Sure.
basically, that it's just all in here is destructive interference for El Nino. Over here is pretty much all constructive interference for El Nino. So
Okay.
basically, it's a destructive interference. Yeah, it's destructive interference. Oh, man, brain fart, dude.
It's
I just
take your
got
time.
lost.
Take
My
your
brain
time,
just
dude.
blinked.
Take your time.
All right, destructive, constructive. So it's just this pattern. So yeah, we may get a break of the westerly wind burst activity because of this El Nino, and the Atlantic might briefly wake up. I don't know if Ethan WX agrees with me
Yeah,
on
let's
that.
yeah, we'll yeah, go ahead and finish your point and then we'll turn it over to Ethan.
Yeah, yeah, to see what he thinks about my forecast. But I
Yeah.
would probably bet you probably going to be hard to get something going in August. I think August is going to be a very, very quiet month. If we get one named storm, it'd probably be in the first couple of days of August or two before things become a little bit more unfavorable potentially by the middle of August
Mhm.
because of this MJO passage. Regardless of the VPA that moves into the Atlantic, remember things are delayed. We want, and actually, let me go back to the VPA. We want that velocity potential anomaly to be, or the upward motion phase of this to be actually over India and
Okay.
over central and far. Yeah, it would be central, eastern Africa into the Indian Ocean and parts of Indonesia.
All
Oh,
right.
and okay. So I'm still sharing. Good. All right, and so that's, I mean, just this is probably right here. This is probably your best bet right here, that we're seeing some favorable conditions opening up in the Atlantic by the latter part of July before things just go right back again. I'm even seeing some indications that things could become more constructively interfered even by the end of the first week of August for
All
much of
right.
the Pacific, meaning that this El Nino is not going anywhere. Let's see one more thing here.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so even in the extended range from all of these models, I do not know what the bomb extension is thinking. Like the MJO is going to retrograde or something. I don't think that's happening. But all the forecasts, even here on the bomb extension, show that the MJO could constructively interfere with El Nino even throughout the end of July into early August, which we'll see about that. Let me see what
MJO in
the
retrograde. I'm gonna remember that for a long time.
yeah. Oh, even the CFS is showing. Look at this. Even the CFS shows the MJO retrograding. So actually going back
Oh
into the
no,
Western Pacific.
that's not good.
No, that means El Nino's really, really influencing.
Yeah.
And that continues even on the that other model. Let's see. Yeah, I know. There's a really, really muted signal in the Atlantic by
Sure.
late July.
All right.
Again, if we get anything, it would be probably a 1 week window of favorability, and that's even marginally favorability
Sure.
for anything that tries to develop. And then we're back to the races of a sleepy peasy Atlantic.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna turn over. I'm gonna go ahead and turn over to Ethan. I want him to give his opinions. He's been listening to you, David. Ethan, what are your thoughts on
I'll
what?
be right back. Let me blow my nose.
Go ahead, Ethan. What are your thoughts for the audience on what you just heard?
I mean, that was a lot to take in, but I will just say that it is tough to forecast, that far out,
Right.
Into August at this point in time. I do agree that it's probably going to be a pretty quiet month just because of, Saharan air layer, general El Nino pattern that's unfavorable for development. I think if we do get something, it's actually, I could see it being a later in the season type of deal, like September, October.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe even more toward October.
All right.
Because I think things are going to be pretty unfavorable for a while. And I also want to bring up, I just got home and we're dealing with the wildfire smoke here.
Yeah,
and it's pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It smells like burning rubber outside. So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So one thing I wanted to bring up, and I brought this up in a previous video of mine, David, if you're there, is if the quieter 2026 gets, the more concerned I would say I would. I know we're kind of speculating on this a little bit, but the more concerned I am personally about what might be happening in 2027 because of that season. I've seen some early range indicators of the ENSO region kind of having collapsing back down to either neutral or negative neutral by the time we get to the summer of 2027. That coupled with extremely warm forecasted water temperature anomalies across the Atlantic, helped by not very active hurricane season this year, would definitely exacerbate that. What's your perspective on that? And kind of like, I want your opinion on that since I kind of gave mine on one of the videos I made. I want your thoughts on this.
Oh, me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was gone for most of that. What was it again?
Okay, so part of my concern now is the quieter 2026 is, the more concerned I am for next year, which is 2027, because the El Nino, according to some of the climate models, is forecast to dip. It's forecast to fall back down to earth. No pun intended, obviously. And the water temperatures across much of the Atlantic, if there's not very much tropical activity, is just going to remain piping hot throughout much of throughout much of the winter, especially in the deep tropics in the Caribbean and in the main development region, with those anomalies increasing going into April, May, and June of next year. What are your thoughts on it? It's very early on, but what's your take on this?
Man. See, the thing is, models are gonna be all over the place, especially that far out, because they look at the patterns that could lead to a warm Atlantic and everything, and it really depends again how El Nino evolves. Right now, I see this El Nino going through at least March and April of next year. I don't think we're going to transition out of it until probably, like you said, like in early summer, which is incredible, which would mean we would have been in El Nino for about 12 months straight. If we go from June this year, which we did, it got declared then, all the way through June of next year, that's 12 months. That's incredible. That's a year-long El Nino event. But warm temperatures alone, okay, we learned this the hard way a couple of years ago, that warm sea temperatures in the Atlantic don't always get more activity going. But once activity gets going, it could be, one, extremely active. Two, the storms tend to be much stronger.
Yes.
And storms tend to rapidly intensify more frequently. So warm temperatures in that sense correlate well with that. But what it doesn't correlate well is the number of named storms, because with El Nino, that for one thing is going to bring up our global temperatures. It's going to be insane. All right. The troposphere is going to warm up a lot. and some of that warmer air is going to spread across the world and across the deep tropical Atlantic over time. And so the atmosphere is more capped, it's a bit more stable, and especially if you have a rather near average to slightly below average sea surface temperature anomalies, which the models are not indicating right now. I think it's going to be a really warm Atlantic potentially for next year. Um, it could go both ways. It really will have to depend on how much instability overall is in the vertical profile of the atmosphere across the main development region and the Caribbean for next year following this El Nino.
Mhm.
Because remember, instability works the same way in the United States as it does in the tropics.
Yes.
You need, in order to get instability, okay, you need moisture. You need a lot of moisture at the surface and in the deep layers of the atmosphere with these tropical waves. That connects really well. But you also need cooler tropospheric temperatures aloft as well. It's just not like, oh, well, they're cold anyways, David. They're cold the higher up you go. Well, yeah, that's understandable, but there's a difference between, let's just say, temperatures up that high are negative 80 Celsius to
Yeah.
negative 70 Celsius. That's a 10-degree warm up in the upper troposphere, you know? And that's what happened with our last El Nino, which is why I believe things were really quiet relatively quiet the last couple of years, because following that El Nino, the troposphere was really, really warm. There's a lag behind this. That's why right now it seems like our tropical waves coming off of Africa over the next couple of weeks seem to be more juicier,
Mhm.
more aggressive looking. Only if we could have taken that El Nino away this year, maybe this would have been a season to have more to have more activity, in other
Yeah.
words. There's a delay to everything. So the warming that we're seeing in the oceans will be reflected into the atmosphere next year. So there's going to be, I have a feeling this is how it's going to go down. I think we're going to see a year like we did last year next year. I think the tropics overall are just not going to have a whole lot of activity because of that warm troposphere. But if we go into an El Nino or a La Nina either next winter, excuse me,
Take your time. It's
next
okay.
winter, and stay in La Nina for, excuse me,
It's okay. It's okay.
man,
You're good.
swallowed. So if we have La Nina over the, can you talk? I
Yeah.
gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, do what you need to do. Yeah, I hear what David's saying right here. I would. It's definitely an interesting take. I would say, for sure. Delayed for everything. Delay for everything. Kind of maybe contributed to why 2025 wasn't as active. Ethan, is there anything you'd like to add in this discussion?
Because his dad is from his parents. They're from Marysville,
Okay, there.
and his
Okay, David's
dad's
talking to
dad
somebody.
studied
All right, cool. All right, cool. All right, cool. So
and he wants me.
let's see. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and shift over and wait for him to come back, and then in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead. In the meantime, Ethan, do you have anything to add before we start going to part 2?
I don't have any particularly hot takes at the moment, so
All right.
All right,
Um,
I'm back. Sorry about that.
All right, David. Did
So
you have
I
more you
wanted,
wanted to say?
yeah.
Go
So things actually are more favorable following 2 consecutive years.
2 consecutive years.
I was in the bathroom probably.
Oh boy.
So sorry about that.
Go ahead.
Oh, I hate getting interrupted. So
I
following the
feel ya.
after the following La Ninas, especially if they're double dip La Ninas or triple dip La Ninas, like we get 2 or 3 La Nina winters in a row, things tend to be more favorable in the Atlantic if sea surface temperatures stay as warm as they are, because the troposphere has a little bit of time to cool off over time.
All right.
There we go. Now I got that all out.
Okay. So one thing one case study I'd like to point out to you, David, was 2015 El Nino was we had the 2015 El Nino that was going on, but I think it was 11 named storms that year. We had Joaquin. 2016 2016 was a bit of a different scenario where you had, I think it was 18 named storms, I'm pretty sure it was. But you had I think it was something along those lines where you had Matthew, you had Otto, you had a few storms that were starting to ramp up, especially in October and November. I personally, the way I look at that case study, 2015 was a rather historic El Nino in itself. Would it be fair to make an argument that 2020 this could be similar to maybe 2016? Instead of
Let me see how 2016 was. Let's
Yeah.
see.
2016, yeah. And then after that, we're gonna have some fun with this. That's 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. What the?
That's 2026.
Oh my golly word! What am I? So,
We're having fun tonight.
2016,
We're having fun tonight, guys. We're having fun.
Speed typing. That's what it is.
Holy crap! You guys are watching. Holy crap! A lot of people are still watching. I'm really excited. Oh yeah, it's 2016.
Yeah.
15 named storms.
Yeah. We had 15. So that's a way too high. Oh, there's no way. There's no way we're gonna have 15. I don't think so. With this El Nino, no. I think at least as high as 9 or 10.
For 2027.
For 2027. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I would probably see it's way too far out, Pat. I can't even.
Okay, well, all right.
Climate models they only go out to June.
Fair enough.
For next year. Well, CanSIPS does.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go ahead and do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to invite a couple other guys in the call right now.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and I'm gonna mute because I need to get some coffee.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. Because I want, let's see, if they're watching, I want Logan and I want Delta in the call right now, and I want them to kind of give their perspectives and their opinions on, if they've been listening tonight, what David has been talking about. So if those guys can join in, I'm gonna DM Logan real quickly, and then we'll get everybody else in orderly fashion. So yeah, we'll do that. We're gonna get we're gonna do that. I'm gonna let him know.
Hey.
Hey,
Well,
Logan,
hello.
you're on the. Oh, hey, Logan, you're on the air.
Yep. Howdy, everybody.
Hey, I'm sure you've been listening to the stream tonight. You've been hearing what David's had to say with this. What's your opinion on this, and what's your thoughts?
Alrighty, so there's a few things I'm thinking of.
All right.
Most of what he said, I completely agree with.
Okay.
The only thing, when it comes to the El Nino, I think the thermocline actually can tell us exactly what year is going to do. So, Pat, can you show the Cyclonic WX thermocline for me, please?
Give me 1 second. Yeah, give me 1 second. Okay, let me do this.
Alrighty.
Hold on once. Oh, geez. Okay, perfect. Here's Cyclonic WX. What do you want to take a look at?
The thermocline.
Okay, so that's that's SST analysis, thermocline.
By the way, Coral Reef Watch, you did use that once or twice. Please do be careful of using that. It is not regarded as very accurate regarding water temperatures. It's relative to a coral bleaching anomaly, which that is used to determine a sea surface temperature, and that causes room for error.
All right, cool. All right, so this is our thermocline right here. Just one you want to take a look at?
Yes, exactly.
All right, go ahead.
So this is a normal pattern that you typically see in an El Nino, where your waters will be very warm out in the head of the first half of the thermocline. back half of the thermocline, you'll typically see cooler waters. The fact that cooler waters are already beginning to build now suggests that next year will probably be either a neutral to a La Nina phase. Likely, I am leaning towards a La Nina, just given the fact that the waters are already starting to show signs of cooling in nearly half of the El Nino territories.
Okay.
So the El Nino 4 region, the subsurface temperatures are not warm. That is very negative.
No.
By a, or I should say very positive because they're above the normal thermocline. Negative anomalies, but it's a negative thermocline overall, in which you have.
Give me 1 second, Logan. Hey, David, could you mute for a second? I know there's you got some background noise behind you.
It was all.
Oh, I thought I was muted.
Oh, there you go. Go ahead, Logan.
It's okay, David. Anyways, did you catch everything up till now?
You're good now. You're good.
Okay, I'm just making sure you caught everything I said beforehand.
Yep, we did.
Okay. Anyways, continuing on. The back half typically builds up cooler waters because all those warm waters get used and exhausted in your first half of the thermocline, which is what you see where you have the pockets of red, white, and pink.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, record levels and basically looks almost identical to 1997 per se, in a sense of how the thermocline is structured. But the fact, too, that the cooling anomalies, which appeared on both thermoclines, actually, is there now, tells me that this is probably going to, what this year into next year will do, it's going to be a 1997 El Nino structure, but the seasons worldwide are probably going to follow a 2015-like pattern.
Okay.
Those are my thoughts. So basically, with the El Nino, I don't think it's going to be a gradual decrease. I think it's going to be a drastic flip, like a how would I say it? Like falling through a building. That's how fast. That's how drastic it's going to be. It's going to be like falling through a building.
All right. Cool.
Also, I do have a forecast that I would like to show to the audience tonight, and also while I am now here too. Is it time to bring up the New Storms United update?
Not quite yet. I want Delta's take first, then we can talk about that.
All right,
Delta.
Also,
David, go ahead first. Then we'll get to Delta.
So I did have a question for Logan. So, what are your thoughts for this winter for the United States, especially for California? Do you think this is going to be one of those El Ninos that's like 1997, 98, or 1982, 83, where we get a lot of rainfall, more storms for California? Or is this going to be another El Winco or El Waco where we just don't get much, like this blocking ridge pattern really persists across the West, where we don't get much rain?
I think it's going to be more of a blocking ridge. The thoughts I have go to Pat. Can you the PMM on ocean analysis for cyclonic WX or climate reanalyzer, please?
Let's see. I'm on cyclonic WX. Where's the PM?
Yep.
All right.
Basically,
real quick.
Yep.
Wrong.
If you go to
wrong thing.
All right. I got. All right.
All right.
Switch. Go back up real quick. Not that. Go back up. Switch Coral Reef Watch to ocean analysis where it says option.
Okay. Oh wait. That and.
Yep. Select the East Pacific.
EPAC.
The East Pacific.
All right.
Yep. Basically, you're and then select anomalies for me, please.
All right. Go ahead.
So this region here.
Yep.
Where actually, can you switch that to North Pacific instead of just East Pacific for me?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and go to North. How's that?
Perfect. This is actually
this is it right here.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you, Pat. Anyways, so these warm waters you see off of California down into the Baja of California, that is your Pacific meridional mode, which to answer David's question, I kind of got to go into a little bit of an analysis here.
Sure.
I think this is going to be more as what he said, El Waco or El Winco. I don't know which one he prefers to use. Basically, between that and what appears to be a neutral PDO leaning towards a negative PDO, based on what I'm seeing here. I would say that this winter will probably be on the drier side because I think what's going to happen is the warmer waters is going to promote a very large ridge for the majority of the United States this winter, is
Yeah.
what I see occurring. Maybe some troughs in the east. I see a nor'easter pattern basically being a prominent pattern this winter. So I would say with the water temperatures, this winter is probably going to act a lot more like a La Nina, if anything, where you have more precipitation in your east and then drier in the west per se.
I would
Which I think that's probably why the climate models were so cold, because of the fact that it's colder but wetter in the east more so than anything, due to the fact that that it's probably suggesting that the waters are going to be so warm it's going to create a ridge, or a PNA, which is your Pacific Northwest, is warm and your East Coast is cold, where if you get a ridge that pushes to the north, surges north, therefore a trough's going to have to surge to the south, because basically what weather is a balance of the environment. So basically, if one thing happens, something else happens to counteract it, such as high pressure causes low, so on and so forth.
Mhm.
So to answer David's question, I think this winter is going to be a dry one for the second half. First half of winter, I think we'll see most of its precipitation, but the second half, I'm expecting it to be dry.
All right. All right. Delta, you are on the air. You've heard a lot of things tonight. In terms of what you've heard about hurricane season this year, in terms of what you heard with David's analysis, what are your overall thoughts for tonight? From what you've heard.
El Nino. Am I going through? Just making
You're
sure.
good. You're good, dude.
Okay. El Nino is really going to hamper this season.
Right.
I do not see any real chance of a tropical cyclone or a hurricane in the Caribbean and in the Western MDR. You might get a quick spin up if the dry air can abate a little bit by Cape Cabo Verde. But this season is going to be a homegrown season, or a subtropical Atlantic hurricane season, where you're going to have your fronts, just like with our Gulf area of interest. You're going to have those types of tropical activity chances. You're not going to get your classic Cape Verde long track, powerful hurricanes. You're going to get your spin up, and they can spin up in quite a hurry. I'm not saying that you can't get a major hurricane in a season like that, but they can spin up in a very quick hurry, especially with those incredibly warm sea surface temperatures and that building ocean heat content in the Gulf and in the subtropical Atlantic.
All right. Thank you very much, Delta. Does anybody want to?
I got two things real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Trevor has something he wants to add on to my point. Also, Delta, I put in a hurricane season for 2015, which backs up your point if you guys want to mention that.
Sure.
And yep, that's the updates.
You guys go ahead.
Yep.
Yep, you guys go ahead.
All right, Trevor, go.
Trevor, go ahead. You're on the air. Okay.
All right. Well, for the meantime, Delta, I would finish your thoughts since you just had something.
Go ahead, Delta. Go ahead.
Yeah, according to I do agree with what was said with the this looks to be similar to a 2015 style where you have at least a little bit of MDR activity, but they don't really get strong and they don't really go very far. But you can have your homegrown systems like your Gulf off your southeast coast. But in the 2015 season, your strongest members were originated near the Bahamas or Bermuda, which is your subtropical region, where we see right now is anywhere from 28 to 30 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Sea surface temperatures.
Yep.
And the OHC is also building. Could you pull that up, please?
The OHC?
The OHC?
Yeah, I got you. There you go.
Yep. Anywhere. Hurricanes and tropical cyclones, if you want to have a good shot at pretty decent organization and decent strengthening, you really want to have that's assuming a good background atmospheric state. It's not just ocean temperatures that form hurricanes.
Right.
But 50 OHC is normally about the region where you can expect a hurricane to sustain itself and to strengthen further. Where we see in the Caribbean, obviously it looks to be a lot of OHC in the Caribbean. Some spots are
over 150,
almost
yes.
150. But it can be as warm as it can be. But if the shear from our El Nino doesn't let up, and if our dry air intrusions from Africa keep pushing through, all of that is not going to get used up.
Yep. Reminds me of 2023, where nothing went to the Caribbean, and look what happened the next year.
Yep,
hey, Pat, I put the image of 2015, sorry to cut you off, Delta, in the chat for the hurricane season if you want to show the audience that.
Yeah, let's show them what we were talking about. Yeah, this is mostly homegrown stuff from what I've seen. It was stuff that developed in the MDR didn't particularly last very long. I mean, you had Hurricane Danny that was a Category 3 briefly before it got blown apart by shear. Tropical Storm Erica got blown apart by the Dominican Republic. Fred was a hurricane as it hit the Cabo Verde Islands. But the main story was Joaquin over here, which impacted parts of the Bahamas and caused the sinking of the El Faro. So, yeah, you guys thinking this is going to be a similar to Sept 2015?
I think almost identical.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Plus or minus storms and intensities and all that, of course. But
for sure.
Basically 2015, mostly subtropic and Cabo Verde.
All right, David.
I see that.
All right, David.
I will say,
what's your thoughts?
In my opinion, I'm going lower. I think maybe up to 9 or 10 named storms. I've been holding my ground.
Yeah, we're talking about like the setup, not the named storms, like the kind of the SEP for the season.
Yeah, setup. I'll say for storms, I do agree. I currently have a range of about 6 to 11 storms, though lately I am thinking about increasing it to about 7 to 12 or so. But long story short, I am basically within the same ballpark as David. I know there is some disagreement amongst people and members and all that stuff, which,
sure.
Pat, you want to share with the audience what you think this season will be?
And I originally I was thinking it was going to be 12 named storms, but I had ulterior motives for that. But I'm leaning towards, I'd say, anywhere between 9 and 11 as of right now.
Yeah, I think our general consensus is about 9 to 11 named storms, and that seems pretty fair and reasonable. LT and Delta, would you guys agree with that, as well as Ethan, if you're there? Also, Trevor is having tech problems right now.
Of course.
So
cool.
We'll bear with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I would also kind of put a caveat on there that I think your name storms are going to be low. You're not going to have a lot of development overall.
Sure.
But I think the systems that do develop and then they find that localized region where the shear drops off, the dry air drops off, you could potentially have a quality over quantity type season, even in an El Nino.
Right.
So basically, yeah, I agree with Delta. I would say another perfect way to say this, a lot like last year, but just fewer storms.
Sure. All right, David, you've heard what my guys have been talking about tonight. What's your opinion on that?
I think
be honest.
I think it's gonna be I think our ace, I'm predicting 40 to 60 ace points this hurricane season.
Okay.
Again, I'm really close to Colorado State University in that, and there's many reasons, as I discussed, why that is. So we may get 1 or 2 long tracked storms or so, but I think a lot of them are going to be quick spin ups. as
Okay.
what Delta was saying.
All right. All right, David. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I agree with
Oh,
just
go ahead.
the aces as well.
Yeah,
But anyways,
My
Pat,
opinion.
I'm gonna actually have to get going. We're gonna start
that's fine.
Bible study here in a little bit. Anyways, before I go, before you talk first, Pat, sorry to interrupt here.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good, dude.
I appreciate you having me on, Pat, tonight. It was great. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Pat's viewers, for giving me time to explain what we're seeing out there when it comes to the MJO, the El Nino that's developing, and the SOI and this and that. I do appreciate that and giving my opinion on this year's hurricane season. Again, we will see at least one or two more name storms. Guaranteed that will happen. It's just a matter of when. But getting 10 plus name storms in the Atlantic this year seems a little bit unlikely at this given time. But anyways, I'm gonna head out. Pat,
All right, David,
thank you for
thank you
having
very
me
much.
on.
All right.
And be sure to share, like, and subscribe to Pat's YouTube channel and also to my channel. It really does help out a lot.
Thank you very much. I put David's channel in the chat. Thank you very much for that. And
And
David,
thank you for joining us tonight.
yeah, we look forward
Thank
to
you
seeing
for
you next
joining
time.
Yeah. Also, if you guys are, hold on, before I leave, if you guys are up to talking to me and Ethan B, not Ethan WX, but Ethan B tonight, we do our Thursday night conversations at like 9:45 or so Pacific Daylight Time. So if you're up to doing that, Pat, if you're up to doing that, Tropical Surge, Ethan WX, we'll have two Ethans if he comes. If you're willing to do that, that would be fun. Now, because me and Ethan are going to be talking about El Nino, the hurricane season, and recent weather events that have transpired in the United States.
All right. Thank you
Yeah, I
very
might
much.
make.
Yep.
I
All
might
right,
be able to
David,
do
thank
that.
you. Oh, what's up?
I might too.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Gonna head off, though.
All right, David. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night, ladies and gentlemen. David is off, so yeah, we got the rest of our guys. We have LTW. We with us. Trevor's having technical problems as well, but oh my. Okay, I'm okay. Let's see. Let's do this. All right. Cool. So we got our so we got that going on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure that out. LTW, you haven't talked too much. You're on the air.
Yes. Hello there.
Yeah.
Um.
So, what are your thoughts on what we're seeing this on the overall hurricane season before we dive into some of the other stuff?
Basically, I agree with a 2015 setup. I'm expecting close to home storms. Basically just spin ups. Kind of like what Arthur did.
Right.
Maybe some subtrop storms.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a few brief Cabo Verde storms
Sure.
moving through, but they're probably gonna die off.
All right.
I could see maybe like a brief major, maybe something like that.
Okay.
But who knows?
Sure.
The Atlantic is the Atlantic.
Very hostile right now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's. Okay. So. All right. So.
Trevor,
before
prepare to
we-
be back.
Yep.
Can we let Trevor have his
Yeah, let's.
thought? I
Yeah,
know-
if Trevor's ready, let's go ahead and let him on. Let's go ahead and let him
Yep.
talk real quickly if he's
Alright.
solved everything. All right, Trevor, you're on the air.
I'm gonna comment on what David said real quickly about winter.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you show the climate prediction center's 3-month outlooks?
Let's see if I can pull it up. Let's see, Climate Prediction Center. I'll just look it up real quick. CP3 3-month outlook. All right. There we go.
Can you go over to, I think it's December, January, and just somewhere beginning of where winter begins?
This it right here?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So I'm going to bring up something that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like what about California? It looks like it could be a little bit dry,
All right.
but I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
What you have to do, Pat, is you have to go more into like January, February,
Okay.
because that's where we'll start seeing something
Oh, I
else.
see it. Yep.
And I think this winter is going to be chaotic because I think what I personally think is I don't even think we're gonna have one Arctic blast this winter,
All right.
and I think we're just gonna have above normal temperatures where basically heat is just not gonna go away until maybe next year.
Yeah. All right, Trevor, thank you very much. Yeah. All right. So, now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about because now David because David's off. Let's go ahead and get talking about what's going on. So, people in chat have been talking about the ensemble runs and the models and all that. Some were saying the 18Z has uptrended. I want to check this real quickly just to see if it's worth my time and all that. Okay, this is the European AI model right here. I have it. This is for the area of interest, guys, for that's going on off the coast of Florida and the Carolinas. I'm just checking this because people have been letting me know about it. What was this compared to the 12Z? Let me take a look. Okay, this is the 18Z. Definitely, I'd say it's about the same, although it's a bit more scattered and all over the place at 18Z. What's the Google DeepMind going for? Okay, the Google DeepMind. Oh. Are you guys seeing this?
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
another question too, while you're talking about that.
Yeah.
Hey, Delta, can you
Yep.
bring up Pat what you're telling me about the model runs for that specific area?
Oh, what's up?
He showed me. I saw something earlier about the HRRR and something else. He was talking about the models over that AOY. So, Delta, are you there still?
Yeah, I'm here. Let me see if I can pull that up or at least get you the link.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, you're the one who saw those, so it's probably better you talk about those.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just starting to see evidence on our regional short range models are starting to show our AOI trying to get its act together.
Would this
off
be
the
on the it's on the her, right? So I can use COD for that.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
So yeah, we see it. It's also interesting is that the HRRR has our area of interest much farther south than the GFS and the Euro are showing. So this is another potential scenario where this system could be a little bit more separated from that trough axis, which would have a slightly better chance of it spinning up and coalescing.
Yeah. But yeah, that is interesting for sure. Yeah,
I completely agree with Delta on that one. I will also like to mention some possible caveats to this too.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I recently saw, because I happen to be doing some digging on past storms at all. If this thing does develop, by the way, it would get the name Bertha, I believe.
Right.
Another thing is that there's the possibility that this could pull a PTC 8 from 2024, for example, in which I noticed it was still frontal and never broke off from its front. So there's also still the possibility that this thing remains frontal and does not gain tropical characteristics, but still has tropical force winds.
And has
So
tons
even
of
if this
impacts, yeah.
it still can cause some impacts for, say, LT's area, because he lives in Florida. I won't say where, but
Nah.
just in the in the example. But yeah, I just want to bring up the fact that there's the possibility that this thing does not become tropical and remains as a frontal mid-latitude or partially subtropical in some characteristics, but not subtropical enough to be classified as subtropical or tropical storm Bertha.
Sure. All right. So that's coming up. Definitely an interesting situation. So maybe a bit more of a contingency on it detaching from the front. Regardless, though, still going to bring potential impacts for it as well. So thank you very much, Delta, and thank you very much, Logan, for that. Ethan, if you saw what I was looking at, you saw the HER model. That's a mesoscale model. That's more so for severe weather. So, what's your thoughts on that? And do you think the HER can be a reliable model for this kind of tropical development?
I think when we look at things like MCVs that move over the water,
Yeah.
in that case, then it could be a good model for indicating development. But I think once we get to the point of actually developing a tropical cyclone, then the HRRR is not our best option.
So kind of the early stages, it's an okay tool, and then later stages not so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking myself because I don't typically use the HER, and I remember talking about that at least when I went to school and all that. So I just wanted to make sure. So thank you very much. What's up?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I was just letting you know that it is not I'm only using the HER, we're only using the HER to corroborate
Sure.
with what the tropical models, solely the regional tropical models
Okay.
are showing.
All right.
If the HER or the NAM from all things was showing it, but none of the other models, I would not bring it up at all because the regional models, when it comes to systems like these, can have a lot of instances. It's more, we're just looking for the trends, and it's corroborating with the regional models.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. I have the 12Z operational pulled up at this current point because people are asking about conditions and all that. It looks interesting. Here's the 18Z as well. This is kind of interesting. Definitely noticing definitely noticing that moisture pocket. Definitely more dry air. What was it at 0Z? Just for context, a little bit more dry air at 12Z than at 0Z for the Euro. So that's an interesting change. It's not very much, but those subtle changes can mean big implications. And if we do see this shifting further to the south in the Euro and the GFS, it's going to get deeper into this moisture and closer to the loop current over here as well. So if you can tap into that, produce a lot of convection, could potentially mix some of that out. So overall, a mixed bag in terms of your dry air. Wind shear aspect of it, let's take a quick gander at this. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to 72 hours out and do some compare and contrast right here. Here's where we are at 0Z. Okay, the 12Z has more shear. What is the 18Z doing? Okay, that's 6Z. I'm about to pull up. I'm literally just looking at the trends of the last 4 at this current point. Noticing slightly more shear with every run than uh than than previously. So that is definitely a bit interesting to say the very least. So maybe not as cut and dry in terms of our conditions as we were thinking the day before. What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I'd still say not as cut and clear dry as before, like you were just saying.
Yeah.
I would say though, it's like first up, it's not going to matter for the central portion of the Atlantic and the Caribbean. That's not going to matter, so that's irrelevant to this.
Yeah.
I am noticing there is some shear over the Florida Panhandle,
Right.
and based on what I am seeing, this does appear to be part of both a front and possibly a system that is trying to break off just given the fact that it's mostly straight lined in one direction and then has a kink that goes south and then curves to the west again, especially considering that breaks apart. Of course, before you see another trough up to your north in Virginia, North Carolina, emerging off the east coast. And you can see an elongated area of what seems to be slight low pressure off the coast of Florida. However, that does not give a clear signal as to something tropical because it is extremely elongated and looks like an upper level tut cell, basically a tropospheric upper level trough that appears to be evident as of that long elongated wind barb that you can see going counterclockwise and some shear around with the center that is not as sheared that is trying to attach to a trough.
All right.
And another area of a trough that's over Mexico. So that tells me chances of development probably aren't as high, but not zero. I should say that is not zero. This is that is just under 5 days out. Correct me if I'm wrong.
This is
That's about
this is where I'm at
just
right
under
here.
5.
This is 96 hours out.
Yep. So that's 4 days. So
Yeah.
4.5 days out. I'd still say this thing has a shot. I would still agree to keep it at 20% for the time being, though, just
All right.
because nothing's really changed. Nothing's really different. The area hasn't even formed a low pressure that has been needing to be monitored. And and then LT, Delta, or Trevor, if you have any thoughts, don't be afraid to say anything.
Yeah.
No.
And in the meantime, I'm gonna look at the NHC for any updates.
All right.
I was just about to say something about this.
Go ahead,
We
Trevor.
do have an update. We do have an update on our tropical storm out in the East Pacific. Advisory 10, they're going out with 65 miles per hour.
They've held at 65, it looks like. All right.
Pressure?
I don't know the pressure. LT, are you able to tell us the pressure?
Let me see.
I have it on Cyclonic WX. It is 994 millibars according to the Cyclonic
Yeah,
WX.
994.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Also,
what I
real
do
Oh, hold up.
oh,
Who wants to?
go
All
on.
right.
Go on, Serge. Go on.
All right, just one quick thing too with Elida. Advanced Dvorak has this thing as a hurricane with 65 knots. So sorry, LT, I did not realize you were trying to speak there. And
All right, LT.
All right.
All right, LTW, go ahead.
All right. What I do have to say, is that it looks like I feel like what will really mess the system up would be the dryer, both for Elda and this AOI near Florida. The for Elda, I heard. Correct me if I'm wrong, Serge. You could butt in if you want to. If I get something wrong. It's the NHC wants it to, like, it has basically 36 hours to intensify until it can't intensify anymore due to shear, like vertical shear, dry air intruding because it's a small system, and cooler sea surface temperatures due to it going north instead of southwest.
Yep. All right. All right. All right. LTW, thank you very much. Is there anything else? Okay. Cool. So, all right. Let's go. All right. So back to this. We have our tropical storm over here in the EPAC. We have 3 other areas of interest. We have 2 areas of interest in the Atlantic right now, both with low chances of development at this current point in time. I want to pull up and talk about our MDR setup real quickly because we haven't really talked too much about that. There really isn't too much to talk about, but overall, we have a little blob of convection south of the Cabo Verde Islands that's been tagged. What are your guys' opinion? Not too much going to happen. What are you guys' thoughts?
Nah, I don't. The Atlantic's just too hostile. There's too much
Mhm.
shear. There's a lot of dry air. Like, look at that. Look
Yeah.
at that. All that dry air in the Central Atlantic right
Yeah,
now.
especially as you get past the Cabo Verdes.
Yeah, this system I think missed its window of opportunity for development, and also too, if we ever get back to the East Pacific, I do have a new forecast. If you'd like me to show that, I have an image for the audience tonight. If you would
Yeah,
like
we'll
that.
show it in a few minutes if that's all right.
Yep, that is what I thought I'd bring it up.
All right.
And yep, and then also the update for the Storms United at some point.
Yep. For
Mhm.
sure.
But yeah, I do think that this area is basically, as David put it earlier, anemic. I completely agree with that statement. That's probably the best way to describe this. You have very little convection. You only got upper levels and some high deep clouds, but moist, and some moist low levels, but it's not coherent and it's not stacked on top of each other as
Yeah.
well as you'd want it to be. Plus, regardless of that, it still appears to be a system that is still along the monsoonal trough, so it is not fully broken off or have its, as we call it, splashdown effect yet. So it does not appear to have switched completely over to latent heating just yet. So it's the one thing I'd wait on before making the call that this thing is not going to develop.
All right.
But chances are it's not going to, and I give this thing a 2% chance to develop.
NHC teasing us again. All right. All right, Delta, do you have anything to add? Or did you go first?
No, I agree with
Yeah.
them that it's not it hasn't transitioned to that ocean fuel. What we
No.
mean by splashdown is that you see that big tropical blob of convection and clouds
This?
over
Yep.
Africa right now.
Yep.
That is land-based convection. That is not something, it's not going to transition all the way to the water and it's going to be like that. You see your tropical waves, they look like that, and then they come off the coast of Africa, and then they kind of fizzle out. And that can give the models kind of like a false sense of urgency, or like where the models will perk up for this system, but then you'll see the models like lose confidence while it's in that splashdown period. So, but since this tropical our area of interest is, well, better put it, anemic, just like what David was saying,
Right.
and it still looks to be attached to the ITTZ.
ITCZ,
CZ.
yes.
That's a mouthful. That's
I
a
know
tongue
it's a
twister.
mouthful. You have to do a lot of practice with it.
You can also tell by just how unfavorable the Atlantic is right now, because that ITCZ is almost non-existent.
Yep.
It's not
Mhm.
it's not like last year where you had like just a line of convection, of broken up convection. It's just like there's barely anything there. Whereas the Pacific is just booming at this point.
Yep.
No better way to describe an El Nino than really kind of that. That's another big factor for an El Nino.
All right. Thank you very much, Delta. Logan, you wanted to oh, LT, do you have anything to add before we moved on?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think that the MDR wave is gonna last much longer, or AOI. I think it has like maybe a day, to put it lightly.
Sure.
And also it's just so dry. And it's way too hostile. And like what Delta said, how like the ITCZ, or the Intertropical Convergence Zone, if you don't know what that means, um, it's just, there's nothing there. And then when you look at the Eastern Pacific, um, like there's just such a clear boundary, like difference.
Yeah. All right, LTW. Thank you very much, Logan. Let's go ahead and shift over to the EPAC. You have your new forecast out. Yep, I see. Is
Yeah.
the image right here that you want to show? Let's go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah, hold on. Yep, that is it.
All right.
I did use AI to fix it up because it saves me editing time, but this has everything I wanted to say.
All right.
Basically, I've concentrated my numbers a bit more just because of the fact that so far this season, June isn't as crazy as I was expecting it to be. It was still pretty crazy. We had 4 storms.
Yeah.
Kind of gives me an estimate that the pacing is along the lines of a upper-ended average for a storm. Excuse me. So, considering the fact that we're on a really good pace and it's supposed to be active going forward, excuse me, sorry. The median of my forecast is about 20 storms. For the East
Yeah.
Pacific alone, then for the Central Pacific, the AOYs kind of gave me a signal too that the Central Pacific is likely going to be very active this year, just because of the fact that waters are warm, very warm over there right now. Waters are also very warm in the East Pacific, and with the El Nino increasing and rising convection as it's a reverse Walker circulation, which I won't get into that, but basically
Sure.
promotes rising over the Central Pacific, and East Pacific promotes more storm activity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so if we get the MJO to go through there a few times, that's why I have my uptick in Central Pacific activity. I originally had 4 to 8. Now I'm leaning more towards 5 to 11, just because how active I think this season's going to be. So, in terms of an East Pacific proper, I would say 21 to 35 storms.
All right.
In terms of just each separate basin, as I like to put them,
Mm-hmm.
either 16 to 24 or 5 to 11. And basically, over here too, current analysis, I got to update this because this came out just before the
Yeah.
advisory. I did this 2 hours ago, not even. Elida has 994 millibars now, which also Elida looks a bit anemic because it has some dry air intrusion from what I can see. And so far, this is how this season's gone. Nothing has formed in the Central Pacific. We had 2 AOYs that failed. And then also, on talking about storms and all, if possible, Pat, I think now's the time to move over into the new update we have for everybody.
Is for Elida?
That's saying like Storms United stuff,
Oh
but
yeah. Let's
Elida,
talk
that's
about
everything.
Let's talk about Storms United real quick. Let's do it.
All right, yeah. Alrighty, you go first, Pat.
What's up?
You go first.
Well, Logan's been hard at work getting things on the ground for both and expanding our social media platforms on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. He's been you have a little Instagram group out there if you guys would like to join that, be a part of Storms United. We also that's number
Here's
1.
something to
Yeah, if
quick,
you want.
Pat.
What's up?
While we're talking about that, I'm gonna get a QR code and then I'll put it in the chat so you can
Yeah, please do.
put it up on the
Yeah,
screen.
send me
Yes.
the link to that.
Also, currently the Instagram one is the only one that is currently up and running at the moment.
Right.
But at the moment, I should say, I am working on a Twitter group, and Facebook will probably take me a minute.
Sure.
It is right now.
Yeah.
But I think within the next few days, because I have a full-time job too, so
Sure, fair enough.
bear with me. And obviously things outside of life, as you saw, a bunch of doctor stuff today, which, by the way,
not
everything.
fun.
Yeah, I just sent that into the Discord. If you want to put that up on your screen, Pat, it is Storms United Instagram edition.
Yep, let me pull it up right here. Otherwise, we can send a link in the chat. This is our Storms United Instagram edition. If you are interested in this is the QR code. Do we have a link for this, or so?
Yes, I'll grab a link for that too.
Let me see. Yeah, if you could send me the link to that, I'll put it in the chat. If people would like to join that and kind of get to know us a little bit better. So, yeah.
Here you are. It should be coming in just a second.
All right, perfect.
I'll say it will be a lot less organized, unfortunately, but it'll basically have every one of us on there,
Yep.
so we can all see each other's text all at once.
Yeah, and we can answer any questions, and we can talk through strategy.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. I see. We're getting members already. The main Storms United is always going to be Discord at heart because that's the origin,
Yep.
and that
It's
is
in
going to
the
be
pin chat if you want to join that too.
Yes, of course. Which obviously you can put that in the chat and all that. But this
already
is a Storms United Instagram edition that has just been finalized this morning or afternoon, and we'd like to have you all join us on the Storms United and expand the community more. Share this with your friends, family, people all around the internet. Share with everybody.
Yeah, for
more
sure.
people that we have, better.
Yeah, Hurricane
And for
Andrew 3L. I have an interesting idea. What if you make a YouTube channel for every member, kind of like a group that uploads from one channel? Would that be good? We actually have that, as a matter of fact. A lot of our stream highlights from the Triple P show actually go on that channel, and some of our chasing footage also goes on there as well. We actually have a Storms United YouTube page right here. Let me put that in the stream for you guys.
Yeah, I'd also put that Instagram into the description of your YouTube channel for both for and for the Storms United for the Instagram. The Twitter should be up probably about tomorrow.
All right.
Which would you say it's a fair take to make a community post on YouTube for that?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yep.
And then of course we got to work out the whole Facebook thing because that's.
Yeah.
As you mentioned before, I'm not going to get into public detail on that.
Sure.
And yeah, basically too with that, we'll announce this on the Storms United Discord server.
Yeah.
We're going to copy and paste all the rules onto the Instagram.
Yep.
All rules that are in the Storms United Discord apply 1-to-1 in each server that will be up and running. And we'll have some admins that we'd like to get too, because it's going to be hard managing a bunch of channels.
Oh yeah.
So basically, I'm currently an admin. Pat is an admin at the moment. We're the only two at the moment. I'd like Ethan, if you are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, let me know when you join and all. I'd like to make you an admin as well. And then I think LT, Delta, and Trevor, I'll make you guys admins as well. And anyone else that you guys have recommendations for, Pat and Ethan, per se.
Yep.
And then after that, we can all appoint some admins for while we're not on that Instagram to keep it in check and keep it running. How's that sound, everybody?
That works fine.
That works.
Good.
We're already getting a couple people joining, so yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it will be.
All right.
Alrighty.
Yep. All right. So now that we've kind of talked about everything for tonight. Oh, it's okay. Now that we've talked about everything tonight, we normally would have a call-in period where if you want to if you want to come on the show, you call in. We're in a group call right now. If we want to do that, we'd have to move to Storms United. So to do that call-in period. So if we still want to do that, what we'll have to do, guys, is we'll have to move to the Storms United live stage. And if anyone in the stream would want to call in, join the Discord server. There's a few questions you got to answer, like are you over 13? Have you read the rules? That kind of basic stuff. We'll let you in. Join our live stage, and then you can call in, ask us questions, talk to us, and all of that. So if you guys want to, we can go ahead and move to the Storms United live stage if you're good with that for our call-in period.
Okay.
All right. And also, I'm making the rest of you guys on here that are currently on here admins: Ethan, Trevor, and Delta. So far, I've got.
All right.
LT I'll be adding next, and yeah, I'll see you guys over in Storms United.
Yep, I'll see you guys over there. All right, let's do that. Okay, perfect. I am in here. Everybody's in here. This is all gravy today. This is all gravy right here.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah, what's up?
A little side note.
Yes, sir.
I do have not really good news.
There you go.
I just got news that there's now 2 dead from the Texas flood.
Oh, that's not good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can we have a moment of silence for the people who
Oh yeah.
lost
Give me one
most of the
second.
flooding?
Give me one second.
Yeah, let's just do a moment of silence for these people. It's the least we can do.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
unfortunate.
They being released.
Yeah, Trevor's not here. Okay.
I'm just looking on Twitter right now to see like if
Yeah.
any news has updated.
But yeah, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just want to mention that the Texas flood basically surpassed uh the 2025 one.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
good at all.
it's just truly devastating. And also, too, to all that, we hope you guys all have support from family and all that, and just make sure all your loved ones are safe because you never know what could happen in a situation like this. I mean, having a 30 feet crest in 2 hours is just catastrophic,
Yeah.
including concrete that was tore up
Yeah.
from flooding, not even from water damages from flooding. As Trevor put this earlier, I'll speak for him on this. He said it was comparable to Hurricane Helene's damage from what he saw,
Oh,
and
jeez.
he's an expert on this stuff. So, just for reference,
And
everybody, please stay safe.
100%
Please have an
agree with that.
evacuation plan,
Turn
and
around,
of
don't
course,
drown.
offer support. Yes, exactly.
yes,
Offer
please.
support for your
Alright.
loved ones, and just
Sure.
basically keep
Alright,
keep your
Golden
family
Gaming
in
Rye.
minds and
Yeah. Golden Gaming Rye, you're on the
Hello
air.
there.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the call-in period. Is there anything is there anything you'd like to say? Any questions you want to ask us?
I had to say, going back to the 2025 season, it was quite a unique one.
Yeah.
It
Very
was.
unique. For sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also,
All right,
and
Trevor's back too, so that's good. But anyway, oh yeah, okay, Logan got kicked. Okay, he got kicked off. Okay, cool. All right. So,
I had to reset. You guys went quiet on me. I'm all good.
that's fine. All right.
Okay,
So,
that's good.
okay, so we're at the point now. We've been on for almost 2 hours now. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
The fire, the Canadian fire.
Yeah, we
And the
talked about
European
that a
heat
little
wave
bit
too.
earlier. We talked about the smoke. Ethan was
Yeah.
especially talking about that.
Yeah. Nothing too. I got this today. I think LT was actually the one that said it,
Yep.
or I don't remember who it was that said it today. Might have been someone else.
Okay.
Death toll in Europe from the heat wave is about 23,500 people.
Yeah, that's on par with the 2003 heat
wow.
wave.
Yeah, that also I think they also deserve a moment of silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really devastating
it's-
for these people.
Yeah,
So
that
we
was
offer
brutal.
support to all you families out there who lost loved ones.
Like
Just
they
just
yeah.
devastating.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Peace, guys.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So, I guess yeah, unless there's anything else going on, I think we can start to kind of wind down the stream a little bit. If that's all right.
Yeah. Just a little quick side note.
Yep.
There was a brief tornado in um roughly central North Dakota.
Where in North Dakota?
Brief Kathy, Munster, New Rockford,
Oh.
that cell.
Okay, was that anywhere close to Enderlin?
Uh
I don't think so. All right.
no.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's interesting for sure. All right. So, we're gonna go ahead. I think we're gonna go ahead and end the stream. Get close to slowing down the stream a little bit. Ladies and
Mhm.
gentlemen, thank you for tonight. We had David Schlotthauer on earlier. He was a wonderful guest. Everything went really smoothly. Yeah, thank you to him for that. We appreciate that 100%. I'm in good spirits. My birthday's tomorrow. I'm gonna be 23 tomorrow, which I'm in disbelief, honestly, and how fast time has gone and how much has happened in the last year. Kind of the reason I wanted to
Yeah,
stream
well,
tonight.
speaking of
Oh
happy early
yeah,
birthday to you.
yeah.
Everyone
Thank
Yeah.
you.
spam unk in the chat. Everyone spam unk in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Dude, dude, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Yeah, it was I
Yeah,
can't
you're getting
believe
old, Pat.
Yeah, I
You're
can't
getting
believe
old.
it. Yep. The
Yeah, I
first
literally just
triple
turned 20 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. The first
Mhm.
Triple P show to get without any swearing. Watch it get Yeah, we're not no, we're not going to break Yeah, we're going to break the streak of swearing for tonight, mainly because
Mhm.
it was such a good show, to be honest with
Yeah, it
you.
was honestly that, and it was also just honestly a good time. And honestly, there was the moments where we had our moments of silence for the
Yes.
people that, because just out of respect too for everybody else out there, definitely encourage you guys to offer support on your loved ones, because that easily, for
Yeah.
example, could have been me, because I
Yeah.
lived in Texas for 2 years, actually, San Angelo area.
Oh,
That's a little backstory for everybody.
oh nice.
So it's just scary to know how bad flooding can be. I remember one year there was like an inch of rain. It was crazy to me. I saw a lot of rain on the ground.
Yep.
I remember hearing stuff about flooding a few years before I'd moved there, and it's just scary to think about. So that's why I
Sorry,
also
just a quick interruption. There's
Mhm.
no longer an FFE in place.
Flash flood.
Okay,
But
that is great news. That is great news to hear.
All right. That's a good time to interrupt. That's pretty relevant. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, LT. But yeah, it's just always be sure to keep an eye on your loved ones. You never know what can happen. Life has a way of throwing these curveballs at us, and that is why we are
Absolutely.
here to also keep you guys safe.
Yep.
And particularly, my dream to keep people safe from natural disasters.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But just
Mhm.
like to
I
add
think we can
on,
all say amen to that.
Amen, man. All right, Delta, go ahead.
amen. Just like to add on the fact that property can be replaced. Property can be repaired if possible, but replaced. But you can never replace your loved ones or your family or other people
No.
Or your pets.
That
or your
too.
pets. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Oh, what's up?
I just wanted to mention this was 15 hours ago. Do note, one of the FFEs, literally said at, this is quoting from the NWS. River Gauge reports a large and deadly flood wave is moving down the
Saw that.
Guadalupe River. The river gauge at Center Point has risen 32 feet in 4 hours.
Yeah.
And is expected
32?
to reach a crest similar to July 4th, 2025 catastrophic river flood. Flash flooding is already occurring. The fact that they're referencing that has to tell you something.
Absolutely. I mean, it
And
reminds me of a worse version of Ellicott City all over again.
Yeah, and just for reference for everybody in the audience too, this is from the National Weather Service, if I remember correctly, right, LT?
Yeah.
yup.
Yeah, the National Weather Service typically does not reference past events. If you see it referencing past events, that's how you know this is an extremely dangerous situation. In fact, basically when you see that, it's like them wording a PDS for any particular dangerous situation.
Yep.
Is what that stands for any discussion or warning. Treat it like a PDS tornado, for example.
For
It's
sure.
just deadly, destructive, and can cause mass devastation and mass loss if people aren't careful and are not safe.
All
So
right.
please heed
Yeah.
all these,
And
for example, going forward with
100%. All right.
Yes.
And I just wanted to like say like hopefully the people at the kids or the people at Camp Mystic
Yeah.
evacuated beforehand, because I I don't really need to say what happened, because
No.
if you know what happened, you know.
Sure. All right. We're gonna go ahead and end it here. Thank you very much for
Mhm.
joining tonight. It was a great stream. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm gonna celebrate that. I'm probably gonna get a video out tomorrow, to be honest, because something I like doing. But I'm gonna have a fun day tomorrow, and yeah, it's gonna be good.
Before you do end the stream, Pat,
Oh man.
LT, Ethan, Sky, or Trevor, and Delta, if you want to sing it with me,
Oh man.
I definitely would suggest doing it.
Oh jeez.
You guys up for it?
Sure. I'll do it.
Oh,
All
jeez.
right, Delta, Trevor, Golden,
That
you
was
guys up for it?
first time me hearing it, so
I would play it on the guitar, but I don't know it very well. All right, guys. 3, 2, 1. Happy.
er,
All right, guys. Come on.
You're gonna have to figure
3,
out how to do it through Discord and all that.
3, 2, 1. All right.
uh,
Happy birthday.
birthday to you.
happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
We need some more energy, you guys. We need some more energy.
Blame the lag. Happy birthday.
Birthday, dear Pat. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you.
Thanks, guys.
Cha cha cha.
Thanks, guys. All right. We're going to end it here. Thank you very much for tuning in. It was a great stream tonight. Shout out David for showing up on the show as well. With that being said, folks, probably see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe.